Maps class here. I'm looking here for the notifications for when we go live, so that way I can post it live on um, my page. You likewise are free to do the same, and and let's make this a big fun group. So here we go. I'm posting it. Oh, except I spelled the word now wrong. It turned into mow. Join me live while we mow. There we go. So welcome. First off, I'd like to introduce you all to MAPS Business Coaching. If you haven't been a part of MAPS Business Coaching webinars in the past, if you're not super familiar with us, one of the big reasons that I joined MAPS Business Coaching is very simple, and that is this mission statement. It touches my heart, and I hope it likewise touches yours for anybody that loves working with people and working on behalf of people, whether it's helping them grow in their careers or just having good client-based relationships. So MAPS Business Coaching really believes that we create the best in us, best in them. And any business that builds off of bringing and building others up, I love to be a part of. So for those of you that are joining us today, hopefully you're in the right classroom. We're here to look at one life hack to achieve tremendous success today. And with that, we'll get into that very shortly. So looking at that, just want to cover a couple of housekeeping notes. These are just near and dear to my heart, and hopefully yours as well. So if you have any questions, I've figured out, the age-old in question to Zoom and Google Slides on how to get the chat onto the screen the same time you're presenting. So you feel free to throw any questions into the chat that you have, and we'll address them as possible and when appropriate throughout the presentation. If you feel as if it is appropriate to the slide, feel free to unmute and just jump on in. I'm totally cool with that. Otherwise, if possible, please keep your cameras on, keep yourself present. I'm a big fan of present and being here. You're taking the time out to join this call today, and I want you to be able to get out as much out of it as possible. And that's just simply being here. Some fun. Why don't you either live right here on the call, throw in your name, your favorite holiday activity, and what you're hoping to join from the class today, or throw it into the chat if you don't want to share publicly. But anybody who wants to come off of mute and tell us a little bit about yourself, I'd love to hear who's joining us. We've got quite a few people on already. Who'd like to go first? Anna, you gave us some nice big hands. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You're still muted.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. So my name Anna Nelson, and favorite holiday activity, definitely having fun with my child and just spending more time with him. So I have a 3-year-old who is nonstop. This is my first MAPS coaching, business coaching seminar that I've joined. So I am just looking to take it all in and see what's available.
Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah, my favorite activity is playing with my kids' toys. I love to buy my children toys for the holiday and then play with them myself. So I've already taken the new skateboard and the new bike for a spin. You know, who else? Who else would like to share? See, in the chat, we've got Rebecca, always interested to learn a new hack to save time or money. Lexi saying that her favorite holiday activity is getting together with family. She gets to graduate college this year and wants to learn as much as possible while she's young. Emily says that she is in real estate in Alaska, and that her favorite part of the holidays is decorating. You and my wife are soulmates right there. I think she spends as much time decorating as the holiday exists. So we're always adding stuff all the way up to the last minute as she finds good deals too. So hoping to learn some new tricks to be more successful. Awesome. Well, I think we're something to really dive into for you. I know that this was pretty influential for me. In fact, towards the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you a short video that is what inspired me to write this class for today. And so definitely hang on till the end to watch that video with me, because it still touches me, and it's been a little bit of time since I've originally heard it. So just to introduce myself, my name's Jeff Kuhn. I am a MAPS business coach. I'm also a certified One Thing coach, and coaching with people and working with people really jumps all the way back into my career. This is a picture of me right here. It's my first job as a 16-year-old that I jumped into Chuck E. Cheese. I actually started Chuck E. Cheese as a trainer in a new unit. From the very first minute I walked into the door, apparently the general manager saw something special in me and hired me immediately as a trainer in that group. I've continued training throughout my life, jumped into Hasbro and worked with the training department, opening new locations and as an area manager there. Was a district manager for over 30 locations for GameStop and EB Games, which was my first commission. Hired and trained every manager in the state of Maryland and Northern Virginia, and then moved into some big data, big tech type companies through Tesla, Solar City, and Vivint Smart Home, and really worked with them to grow their relationships with a variety of different brands, doing training seminars and workshops in front of all the ones that you see on the screen here. After that, I joined a little company called Keller Williams, for anybody that may or may not have heard of that that's here. And with Keller Williams, I was the TL, or the CEO of a local franchise. And through that, really became impassioned, coaching one-on-one with real estate agents, and wanted to take what I learned through all of these different businesses into my own coaching and consulting company called Legion Prospecting. I was actually coaching on 2 books you may or may not have heard of, Millionaire Real Estate Agent and The One Thing. And as I was building my company there, you know, who would have thought Gary Keller would have built his own through MAPS Business Coaching. He also has his real estate coaching company too. So my mantra through all of these companies really came down to these 3 these saying used to quote on every single call I had with my management team and my personnel. And at one point I was leading 30 district managers and 1,200 salespeople. So the mantra came down to hire the right people, train them the right way, and then help them to achieve their dreams. That morphed over the years. Way back, I thought it was just about achieving goals, but you know, we can achieve a goal every single day. And dreams really are what inspire us and what drive us. And in my opinion, as a manager, as a leader, as a trainer, it was really to help people achieve their dreams. And that's what we're talking a little bit more about here today. When we're looking at life hacks and ways to be successful, achieving dreams is really one of the big reasons for doing that. So Gary Keller and Abe Shreve, as I mentioned earlier, started MAPS Business Coaching. Gary has been a big advocate for coaching over the years and began it with MAPS Coaching for Real Estate Agents, and realized that the models that he taught there, as I realized too, working with KW, could be taught to all sorts of other businesses, and founded this company with Abe just about 2 years ago now. And so with Smith Research and Development, who has many military contracts, who we're going to grow with training works up there. The One Thing podcast and book, as you've seen, and as mentioned already, KW MAPS Coaching. So long and short, objectives for today's webinar: identify your life hack, and let's get it onto the calendar. All right, so pretty simple objective. And before we begin that, let's play a game. It's the end of the year. And as you saw by looking at my profile a little bit there, Chuck E. Cheese, Hasbro, GameStop, I really enjoy playing games. So we're going to start by playing a game with everybody here. So if you could, those that aren't driving, you know, run and grab really quick something that inspires you, something that makes you think about what it is that is going to be influential, something that tells us about what your 2021 wants to look like. All right, you're gonna get 60 seconds. You ready? Go. Something that inspires you for the next year. All right, you're gonna stop, but I'm gonna play it again because they said 60 seconds. Here we go. Everybody got something? If you could, just click the thumbs up emoji on your screen, or give me a thumbs up on screen. Perfect. Thanks, Dolores. Thanks, Denise. All right. Okay, so right here on the main call, who wants to give us a share real quick? Somebody share what they found.
So I'm still
You
with
called up a
college.
couple of things. Emily, you tell us what you got.
It's a painting I've had for a while, and I brought it to work to keep me on task. Girl, you better work. And I love glasses.
I love it. Girl, you better work. I've got glasses. And somebody was just about to share.
Yeah, it's because of COVID, you know, Maryland Terrapins. I'm still in college. I'm trying to get to University of Maryland, so I'm transferring as well. So this is what I found. my Terrapins mask.
That's that's my pillow pet for my couch in the office, just so you know.
That's
I'm
awesome.
there with you, bud. Way to go. I love it. All right. So what we're going to do real quick, though, just to give everybody a chance to share, we're going to take 3 minutes to break into some small groups. So the way this is going to go is as you go into your group, if you were already the one that shared, then again, just share real quick. Tell them a little bit about yourself, why it is that you picked that item in your group. So this is just 3 people in the group. So it'll be a short, quick 1 minute share with everybody. And then we're gonna come right back here and keep going. All right. So Jay's just got us ready to go. Here we go.
Time. And as one piece of sand goes through, it reminds her that that second is never available to her again, which then reminds her to be present in the moment, which I think is really powerful.
That is crazy powerful. That's almost scary powerful. I might be intimidated to put a hourglass on. It definitely has me look at whether or not I use that 1 second in a smart way. Inspirational, and I might have to go get an hourglass now, Rebecca. Thank
TJ Maxx
Oh,
or
one more.
Goods. There you go.
I like the candle that Dolores had.
Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, I can let her show us. I think it's a good piece to have to inspire what your mindset is, what's her mindset, what she's working on.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you so much, Eric. So I have this candle that has the words work hard, stay humble, and live happy. And I'm trying to work by that mantra as I try to start my coaching and consulting business as I move a little bit away from corporate America. I've always been in that kind of environment. So trying to do that as I get into a new frontier of doing it on my own. So just wanted to share that with me. Thank you.
That's awesome. And humble is sometimes the hardest part for those of us that have built big things. So thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
We're gonna go back to sharing the screen here then. Let me make sure I do this right. Oh. Give me a second. Of course, as soon as I left the screen, it decided to stop showing the presentation. Here we go. Now we'll share the screen. Okay, so what I'd like to get into here in just a second is, I got to bring the chat back up too, because that's the life hack. All right, the one thing book in the car. Thanks, Eric. So let's jump over to here. So one of the challenges I had for myself this year was to read 52 business books this year, or 52 business sales, people development books. I accomplished it, though 1 or 2 of them I read 2 times. So I don't know if I may have bent the rules a little bit, but a few of them I felt like I needed to go back to and retouch towards the end of the year from the beginning. Coming out the series that really started to speak to me, especially towards the end. And another one of the reasons that I started to go back. And so this life hack really comes initially from these 4, but as I started to dig in, I started to find more and more examples of this throughout the industry and throughout speakers and authors everywhere. So we have John C. Maxwell, public speaker, author of 70 books. Russell Brunson, he's the founder of ClickFunnels. Anybody that's ever heard of a ClickFunnel? Stephen R. Covey, I did a whole video series on 7 habits of highly effective people this year. And then obviously Gary Keller, we talked a little bit about earlier, but founded Keller Williams, wrote The One Thing. And with that, I really felt drawn to bring this out and talk to everybody here about it. So we're going to do a couple of quotes from each of these authors and then a few others. And so as the quote comes up on screen, I'm going to ask for a volunteer for each quote just to read it. And so we can really start to dig into what this life hack is. So who'd like to read this first quote for us? Go ahead, Emily.
You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. John Maxwell.
Anybody know what John Maxwell's daily is? The one thing that he made sure to do every single day.
Brush his
All
teeth.
right. Brush his teeth. That's a good one. That could change your life.
Is that praise? He prays?
I'm sure he does that as well. And in relation to his writing, his one thing was to write a page a day. And Emily, I've got a fun joke about brushing your teeth, but we might get back into that a little bit later. So remind me at the end if we got enough time. Okay. So John Maxwell writes daily. In fact, that was his organization system. Basically, he takes the pages that he writes. Sometimes he stops at a page, and sometimes he gets inspired while writing and he'll write 3 or 4 pages. But the big thing he wants to make sure that he does every day, sometimes is garbage, he'll say, and sometimes it's amazing. I have a hard time believing anything John Maxwell's writing is garbage, but he'll take that page and file it away by subject. And then later, when he comes up with a book idea, he can go to those subjects, take all those pages and put them together. And usually he's got the book just written there, like boom, puts it together. With that, he's written 70 books in over 50 languages. They've been published and has sold over 30 million copies at last check, which is like 2 years ago. So probably even more than that. So here's our next one. Who wants to read? If it lets me, here we go. This quote from Gary Keller.
Make sure every day you do what matters most. When you know what matters most, everything makes sense. When you don't know what matters most, anything makes sense. Gary Keller.
And for those that have had a chance to check out The One Thing, the tagline to that book is a surprisingly. Thank you for reading. And it really digs into the focusing question of what's the one thing that you can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. Russell Brunson, again, founder of ClickFunnels. Who would like to read Russell Brunson's quote?
I will read it. This
Thanks,
is
Dolores.
Dolores. Publish every day for 365 days. After a year, your income will not be the same. Russell Brunson.
Thank you.
you.
And Russell Brunson runs a podcast. The thing I love about his podcast is they're in like bite-sized nuggets. It's 5 to 7 minutes that you can listen to and get some really key points on marketing. One of the fun things to me about Russell Brunson talking about this particular topic is the reason to publish for 365 days for him isn't even to publish. Like that's like beside the point. For him, the big thing that he was looking for, and the reason he encourages this for everybody, is it helps you find your voice. It helps your audience start to find. If you're the one that's selling something, whether it's selling yourself or selling a service or selling a particular product, if you're out there talking about it every day, it's going to help them find you. Now, initially, like this was looking at like WordPress and blogging and all sorts of other things, but obviously you can find your format and think about it this way if this is something that interests you. But find your format, find your voice. Your audience can find you. And he guarantees that by doing this, that you will start to get the impact and the income that you desire. In fact, I think his quote basically says, after a year, it will not be the same. There's no way that if you are publishing every single day, it's not the same. Or it is the same. Aha. one last one for right now. So 7 Habits of Highly Effective People author, Stephen R. Covey. Who'd like to read this one for me? Somebody new.
I'll do it.
Go for it, Lexi.
What one thing could you do in your personal and professional life that, if you did on a regular basis, would make a tremendous positive difference in your life? Quadrant 2 activities have that kind of impact. Our effectiveness takes quantum leaps when we do them.
And as you look into 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it breaks our activities into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 being things that are very urgent and very important. And thank you, Lexi, because this was very urgent and very important that you read that today. So I appreciate you sharing. And as we move into quadrant 2, it's things that are important, but you've managed your life in such a way that they are no longer urgent to be done. So important to do, yet you have planned them ahead of time, so they're no longer urgent. So living in quadrant 2 is necessary. So, but he still says, what one thing would you do? And really, that's the thing, right? So consistency is our life hack. I know that doesn't sound like very brain altering or major impressive. And, you know, honestly, I felt the opposite way as I started to figure this out, right? What I started to realize is that success is simple. It's not necessarily easy. I mean, how many times have we heard that phrase before, right? Like, I think the first person that for another words, and I thought he was a genius, and then I realized he just got it from some book at some point. Rip off and duplicate. That's the best R&D options out there, right? So success is simple, not easy. Consistency, doing one thing every single day, all year long. And the fun thing for me is it doesn't even have to be hard. Like some of us might look at that and say, well, I don't have any idea how I'm going to publish every day. I don't have any idea how I'm going to write a page in a book every single day. And the fun thing for me is it doesn't have to be something hard. So like as we look through this a little bit, we've got a little tale here.
Okay.
So
you let me know when you're ready. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. I'm supposed to start playing on the click. Here we go.
That sums it up. Anything else? Any other last minute pieces of advice you could give me about making a good TikTok?
Okay, so the thing that you have to do, everything you have to do, a lot of effort. Yeah, I'm not done. Okay. Even you need like see.
How often do you put up TikToks? How many TikToks do you make a day?
About 282 or 2. But
Every day?
now you see that you have.
Look at that. You got 8 in drafts, so you got stuff you're working on.
Yeah.
Coming soon. I didn't even know you could do a draft. That's awesome. All right, so put in effort every day is what you're saying.
Yep.
And you can be successful like you.
Yep.
You're the man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Harrison.
So that's my 4-year-old nephew. My 4-year-old nephew has 3 times the amount of TikTok followers that I do. And I decided over the course of the holiday, I should ask him how he did it. He actually posted in my comments at one point in time that he would help me. So I took him up on the offer. So in fairness, like legitimately, his stuff is good as a 5-year-old, you know, and it's funny to me because my 10-year-old daughter, you know, likewise, and not to get off on a TikTok tangent, but started a TikTok account recently. Like she's been started one giraffes, and in like 3 days of posting TikTok giraffes, she had like 200, 300, 400, 500 followers, 5,000 likes, you know, and it's just getting her voice out there based on things that she loves. So again, it doesn't even have to be difficult. Gentlemen, this is actually a friend of a friend that I know. This one touched my heart too. Gentleman wrote this book, 365 Thank You Notes. His life was falling apart. John Kralik. I don't know if any of y'all have heard his story or not, but his life was falling apart. He was about to go through a second divorce. His business was failing, or actually he had gone through a divorce. His girlfriend had just left him, overweight. He was like wandering around in the middle of the night, you know, asking the age-old question like, oh man, like, what in the world am I going to do? Like, what's going wrong? And his mind went back to a Christmas gift that so it was a note, just a simple note that told him how much she appreciated who he was. And with that, he decided to write 365 days of thank you notes. So he woke up each morning and wrote a thank you note to somebody in his life. And by the end of the year, the amazing changes that began to happen just by expressing gratitude to others in his life every single day for a year. The founder of Spanx, we won't read into all this quote. The founder of Spanx, her commute to her office is very small. It's a short commute. And she realized that with that short commute, she didn't get the me time she needed to be as creative as she needed to be to found her company. And so likewise, she jumped back and said, I need to make my commute longer. So her one thing each day is to just drive around for an hour and think. Pretty wild, right? Les Brown, he was labeled in elementary school as being mentally deficient. He was labeled as handicapped. He became an author, motivational speaker. Anybody that's ever heard Les Brown speak does not walk away unchanged. And his commitment was just reading a book, 30 pages a day, reading a book, which is amazing. And he attributes that to a large part of his success that he experienced. So again, this life hack, this be consistent, this do something every day doesn't have to be difficult. As the one thing shows, what's the one thing that you can do such that by doing it, everything else is easier and necessary? So this is our time to share. And I know there's 18 other people on this call, but I'd like to have some daring souls, look at their business and tell me not only the answer to this question, but also here with Stephen R. Covey, what one thing could you do in either your personal or your business life, or let's go crazy, maybe make it both, right? Like, what one thing could you do that if you did it on a regular basis would have a tremendous positive impact in your life? So look at your personal life, look at your business. Let's share a little. Who's going to be daring and jump out? Eric, I see you thinking. So I'll tell you mine. And this was, I broke it out in the group. My thing that I showed was a tripod. So I felt like I needed to find my voice, and also get off of the necessity that I felt throughout life about making things perfect. I've always wanted to, anything I put out there, my perfectionist in me didn't want to put out video content unless it had been super scripted, and I knew it was going to sound great. Traditionally, I would take 15 takes to put out one 60-second video. And so, about 95 days or so ago, I just said, I'm just going to put out a video every single day and see what happens. And in the meantime, now I've been invited to speak on multiple podcasts. I'm being invited to share and present webinars, to private groups and businesses, just because I'm out there sharing, like BNI groups and other coaching groups and that's for an hour. And that's fun for me. That's exciting because that wasn't even my intent. My intent was just to get on camera and stop being uncomfortable on camera. So for you, what is it that is inspiring you? What one thing, looking at your business or your life, do you know that if you started doing it every day would change your life?
I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say, I'm going to stop saying yes to everything because not everything matters.
Stop saying yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Be more focused on what you need to do.
Yes.
I like the gratitude, the thank you notes. It's actually the tangibility and ease of doing that is what's interesting to me, because I that's not an issue I feel like I'm struggling with yet. Having that, doing that task, what it'll cause for me and my mindset, and just having that regular occurrence of doing that task. And it's also something I can get my kids to do. I feel like that shift of mindset combined with you know, 365 people, I don't know about you guys, but at some point, the first 10 or 12 or 20 people that you're going to send that to is real easy. And then after that, it's going to start being like, all right, who can I think I met a guy named Jeff Kuhn one time. I guess I should send him something. You know, I mean, it's like, you got to start really thinking about who you can bless with that thank you note, gratitude note. I think that's going to be the pivotal point in it, right?
It could also be a really good touch for your clients. Keeping contact unexpected, you know?
Yeah, right. And even just to give, right? One of my TikToks was you know, on how to start your morning with gratitude and how to end it, you know, with 4 questions that force you to go back and be grateful for what you did that day. So I love that too. I'm happy to share those 4 questions with you at some point. I don't have them right here, but we can jump into those later. Perfect. Anyone else? Okay.
Jeff, I just wanted to say about how you forced yourself to stop scripting yourself and how it made a big difference. I think when you stop scripting yourself, you let yourself be you, and people want to see the true you, and they can tell the difference if it's scripted or not. They don't want someone who's schmoozy. They want someone they can relate to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, without a doubt. I agree. It was a force out of my comfort zone, and I believe it was a necessary one. Let's see if we can get back into sharing here then. Okay, what do you guys see? The deck?
I will blank at blank in blank.
Okay, perfect. So this is what they call an implementation statement. This is actually a part of the class I'm teaching next month, which is called Resolutions That Stick. And this is just an intro to it. So the number one thing, the thing that you have chosen, fit into the statement. So I will every morning before 10 a.m., right? And with that, you know, I know where I'm going to do it. I know how I'm going to do it. I know what topic I'm going to do it on. But often it's easier to fit something into your life and into your schedule when you have designed a plan about how and where you're going to fit that into your schedule. So make it a commitment to yourself now. Fill the statement in. I will blank at blank in blank. Throw a few into the chat if you can. And anybody that feels really good about one, you can feel free to share. Blank at blank in blank. The chat did disappear. That's okay. So, and it takes us into the second piece, which is a perfect day exercise. We're not going to have the full opportunity to go through this today. So this is going to be 7 different questions. We're going to pop them up on the screen. And I want to encourage you to take the time to spend some time drilling into this through your own personal time. So Sue wrote in the chat, I'll go to bed by 10 p.m. every night. Masahiro wrote, I will work out 6 a.m. in my basement. So perfect. So perfect day exercise. We have, imagine your perfect day. So take some time to think this through. So both work and personal activities. So as you think through and think about what your perfect day might look like, what does your schedule look like? What are you doing throughout the day? Where are you doing it? What behaviors need to change to make this perfect day a reality in my life? So as you're imagining what this perfect day looks like, what would you need to do differently? What behaviors would need to change in order to make this perfect day a reality? Make sure, obviously, that you're taking this one thing, this consistent thing, and finding a place to fit it into this perfect day. So what stops you from living your perfect day? And then again, what's one thing that you can do today in order to begin this habit in your life? So honoring your commitment to make sure that we got to get out of here on time. Go ahead, pause, take a screenshot of this. Love to have you all follow up. You can reach out to me. We can work on this activity together. I know that if you already have a MAPS business coach, that the MAPS business coach would be happy to work on this with you as well. Let them know you want to dig into your perfect day exercise and think this through. I did promise you one thing, and one thing that I promised you was that we would talk a little bit more about what it is that inspired me to write this. So a little movie that came out, by the way, a good way to track your habit is the 66-day challenge calendar. If you're going to do this habit for 365 days, you can just use a normal calendar, right? And speaking of 365 days, this is a little video that inspired me to get this started, a little motivational for you right here at the end. So please let me know if you can hear the sound or can't hear the sound.
All right, hello everybody and welcome. We're Jim and Sam. We're on a tour right now. We're playing one show every day for an entire year. This is a brand new song. It's kind of about rejection.
It's not kind of about rejection. It is definitely about rejection.
Find me a way to get out of here. We've been playing music together for almost 10 years. Find me a way to get out. And we've tried really hard to build a real following. But nothing we have done has worked.
We should see what happens if the only thing we do is
Play one show every day for a year. We might be out of our minds, but we're really excited about it. We're Jim and Sam from Los Angeles, California.
Where are you here today?
We're playing a liquor store? Welcome to South by Southwest.
Live in Omaha, Nebraska, while we're cutting down a tree.
We're gonna be sweet to each other, and then we're gonna have sex on this.
No, Jim, definitely not happening.
We got married 4 months ago.
She started arguing, just say, yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
It's like the honeymoon tour.
It's the Don't Get Divorced tour.
You're living the dream. You need to carry on chasing it because you're going to find it.
It's sold out. You excited?
I'm very excited. That made me cry.
There's so many beautiful people in the world. Thank you for doing this crazy thing with me. So here we go. Making something happen every single day. Yeah, I'm calling it.
Jim, they're all coming over here.
Jim and Sam, we're passing through. All right, hello everybody and welcome. We're Jim and Sam. We're on a tour.
That makes me smile every single time. I've watched that video probably 15, 20 times. I still get tingles. So here we go, making something happen every single day. That's our life hack. So what about you? What's your action plan? What are you going to make happen every single day?
Daily habit.
One thing that you could definitely make happen, if you haven't thought about it yet, add this to your calendar for next week. So if you want to figure out more how to fit a new daily habit into your life, if you've tried resolutions in the past and been able to making something happen every single day stick, knowing that this was the last week of the year and next week was the first week of the year, I thought there was a very timely opportunity to take this class and run it. So I'm taking best practices from Atomic Habits, best practices from The One Thing, best practices from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We're combining into a 45-minute course to teach you how to make sure that you're getting this onto your life and how to make sure that it sticks for next week. So in next year. So 365 days a year. So definitely add this to your calendar. You can jump onto www.mymapscoach.com/events and register for it today. If you're already a MAPS coach or business coach client, you'll get an email about this, I'm sure. Feel free to register then. In the meantime, if you have any other questions or want to dig any deeper into any of this stuff, again, here is my contact information, and feel free to reach out separately. And otherwise, Any last things that anybody else wants to share or talk about?
Let's
Did
hear
you
your
hear a life
toothbrush.
hack?
Let's
that
hear your
you could add
toothbrush
to your
joke.
life? Oh, the toothbrush joke. Okay. So one of my consulting clients has been a dental surgery center. And one of their dentists always says, you brush your teeth at night to save your teeth. Brush your teeth in the morning to save your friends. So that's her toothbrush quote. She says that to every little kid that comes in before she does surgery. So I've always thought that was cute and an amazing aspect. Thanks for reminding me. I totally forgot. See? No more homework for me. Well, thank you all for joining. I've had a good time. Again, feel free to reach out if you've got any other questions. I am available. And obviously, if you have a business coach already, I definitely ask them about some of these things. And I hope to see many of you next week on the resolutions call. Otherwise, have a happy new year. Bye-bye 2020. Hello 2021. Am I right?
You, Jeff. Yeah. Thank you.
See y'all soon. Thank you.
Take it easy.
Thanks, Jeff. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.